Hey there, it's Maida Leon, and you're listening to episode 3 of the Confident Creator Show. Today's episode is the third and final installment of tackling the most common roadblocks for creatives and business owners. It's a 3-part series where we dive deep into the reasons that are holding you back from doing what you want, whether it's to start a creative hobby, launch your business, or to grow it further so that you can achieve the life you've been dreaming about. If you haven't caught the first 2 parts of this series yet, I highly recommend that you do. Do you know what causes your fear? And how is fear any different from excitement? What can you do right now to turn that fear into a tool that will drive you to take action? I shared that and more in episode 1. And in episode 2, we talked about thoughts like, what if I'm not good enough and I'll never succeed? With 5 powerful methods to help mute your inner critique and move forward in creating a business that you're passionate about. And today, we're going to go blast that third roadblock that is stopping you from moving forward with your ideas and plans. The M word. Money. But before we continue, I want you to take a selfie or even take a video of yourself listening to this podcast. Or perhaps screenshot this episode, share it on your Instagram, and tag me at Maida Leon. That's MYEDELEON and at Confident Creator Show. Do me this little favor because I'd love to know how important this episode is for you. The downside of podcasting is that I can't interact with you as I record this. Getting to know you is super important to me because I want to get to know the questions and challenges you have with growing your business so I can help you in every little way I can. Are you ready to dive in? Hey there! I'm Maida Leon, and my mission is to help creatives like you translate what you love to do into a highly profitable income. I'm a mom of 3 who began as a lettering artist and grew it into a 6-figure business. If I made it possible, so can you. Every week, we'll dive deep into topics like building your confidence, getting comfortable talking about money, and nurturing your passion while juggling life and family. So if you're an ambitious creative who wants to craft a life you love, get cozy, feel at home, and listen to the Confident Creator Show. Money, money, money. There is so much negativity and ill feeling that comes up whenever you mention this M word. Hands up if you've ever A. Felt suddenly uncomfortable and uneasy whenever the topic of money comes up in your conversations with friends, family, and even your spouse. Or B. You start bracing yourself and get into a battle-ready mode when you talk fees and payment schedules with your clients or customers. Yes? Good, because this episode is for you. Now, have you ever wondered why all these negative emotions pop up whenever you think or talk about money? Have you ever asked yourself why money makes you uncomfortable? Or have you ever considered confronting all this negativity and emotions before? Going back to episode 1, where I talked about fear is a natural and very human reaction to protect yourself. And that's what your subconscious is doing whenever you evade going deep into your money mindset. If you asked me 10 years ago about money, I'll tell you, don't talk to me, and then I'll walk away. Money was a dynamite of a topic between my husband and me that 99% of our conversations will turn into a door-slamming, cold shoulder for days quarrels. It took us years of working through our issues with money, especially when I gave birth to our daughters. We did not expect twins. I think no one ever expects twins. Now, if you're a listener out there with twins, either daughters or siblings or sons, don't get me wrong. Twins are a blessing, but that also meant double the expenses, right? We needed twice as many diapers, milk formula, and clothes. We were scrimping and saving to make sure we had everything we needed for the girls. Their birth really opened up the conversation my husband and I needed to talk about. Money. It didn't mean that our money issues were instantaneously resolved, but we both subconsciously accepted the facts and we're ready to work through our money issues. So before you continue, you need to ask yourself if you're truly open to confronting your fears today. Don't just say yes. Have a real think about what confronting your money fears would truly mean. Because when Chris and I were ready, we had to first acknowledge our fears and be truly committed to going all in to make the mindset changes we had to make and to take difficult, painful, and scary decisions in our lives. Because let me tell you something. Even if I managed to make a success of my business today, I will bet you that we'd still be facing the money problems we'd have in the past. Yes, I'm making sales and landing high-paying clients and launching my course successfully, but we'd be handling the money earned poorly if our mindset and attitude did not change. I know of people who are successful in social media, but in real life, they are struggling. Yes, they have over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Yes, their skills land them high-paying clients. And yes, they travel all over the globe teaching expensive workshops. But in reality, they are struggling day to day, paycheck to paycheck, simply because of money mindset. And I also know many of you who are listening today. You are transitioning from hobby to business, or you're someone who is just learning and developing your skills. Does any of these thoughts sound familiar to you? I can't afford to buy a course, so I learn how to start a creative business. Or, I can't turn away low-paying clients. I need the money to pay my bills, groceries, rent, and pay education for my kids. I know. I've been through what you've been through. Your money issues won't go away, but changing your money mindset will help you with your long-held negative beliefs about money. And changing it is so important because, again, this might sound a little woo-woo, but your thoughts guide your actions and create the results you get. Let me give you an example. Let's say illustrator Ashley has created an amazing series of illustrations as a side project. People love it, and she has been approached by a publisher to create a book based on this series. The only problem is that she needs to expand this series and create more illustrations so it can be turned into a book. She will then be paid a huge advance payment to start the project. At first, she's so excited. She's finally gotten her big break, or at least a foot in the door to turning her dream of becoming a full-time illustrator into a reality. But soon, thoughts like, I don't know if I can do this. It seems like a lot of illustrations to do. Where am I going to find the time? Plus, what if I don't deliver and I'd have to pay back the advance fee? It's a large sum of money. No, I'll tell them I'm not ready yet. Here's another example. William has been creating pretty unique paintings for a while and has developed a following. His followers are always asking him how he paints his paintings and if he could teach them. At first he thought, why not? After all, his process was deceptively simple and he can make an income out of this. So he gets right to researching what he needs in order to create an online course. He wants to make sure he creates a really good quality production. So he lists down all the things he needs. An expensive DSLR camera, an Adobe Premiere Pro account, studio lights, a condenser microphone. Then he looks at the cost of everything and goes pale. All of these things cost quite a significant amount of money. He starts balking at the idea of creating a course because he starts thinking, this is way too expensive for a setup. What if no one buys my course? I'll lose the money I'll be dropping for all this equipment. Money that could be better put to use with paying off my student loan or just saving it in case of emergency. I'll hold on to the idea of creating a course until I'm sure people will buy the program. After all, I don't think I have enough followers who would want me to teach them. Do any of these sound familiar? Ashley's and William's scenario are examples of thoughts. I don't think I can do this, or I don't think enough people will buy my course, guiding their actions. Actions that have seriously limited them from achieving their desires and earning an income. Your mindset is crippling. I've said that in episode 2. In fact, I said self-doubt is a killer of dreams, and self-doubts are a mindset you have about yourself. While self-doubt may be a limiting factor for Ashley and William, there's also the money mindset that they have, and people call it money blocks. For Ashley, her money block was that she's getting an advance payment, which is a huge amount to her. She thinks she doesn't deserve that money and that success. She thinks she's going to be bad with money to the point where she's afraid that if she can't deliver, she won't be able to pay it back. Ashley avoids money. Your money blocks might be different. It could be money is evil, rich people are corrupt, or money doesn't buy happiness. The thing is, you avoid money like Ashley. Now let's take a look at William. Can you guess what's his money block? He is anxious about money and spending it, so he tends to be more vigilant about money. Now, while it's a good trait to have, it has crippled him because his money blocks include thoughts like, I shouldn't spend money on myself, and probably even earning money is hard, so I have to make sure I spend it only on things that matter. There are so many different other types of money blocks. Money blocks in relation to how you view money, where you equate money to status, or money blocks where you think money is everything, from beliefs like money will make me happy, or people only come to me for money. I'm only as good as the amount of money I'm making or the nice things I own. Whatever beliefs, ideas, and things you think is true about money, in order for you to overcome them, you need to first acknowledge these beliefs, these money blocks. So I want you to sit down. Think of it as a journaling activity. Sit down and just write everything you think you know about money. Be honest with yourself. What are the things you say about money? What's your attitude towards money? What are the things that people close to you told you about money that you have adopted? How do you feel about spending money? Guilt? Excitement? How do you feel about earning more money or more additional income? What emotions do you tack onto it? One thing you realize is that you pick up these money blocks as you grow up, from your family or friends. Think back to your childhood. Have you ever been denied a toy because your parents told you, we can't afford it? Maybe as a child, you've heard an adult say things like, the poor are lazy, that's why they're not wealthy. Or you see the popular kid at school wear the latest bags, sneakers, clothes, and then, now, you equate material things to status. Let me ask you, are you the person that spends money impulsively by buying drinks for everyone at the bar? Have you ever asked yourself why? Or are you scrimping and struggling by month's end, you just casually accept the fact that you are bad at handling money? Do you really know why? This exercise of uncovering your deeply rooted beliefs, if you truly put yourself to it, can be transformative. Gaining that self-awareness will help you look at things in a different light. So now that you've uncovered your money blocks, how do you go about tearing it down and overcoming these blocks? Let's start by disproving your beliefs. Think that money is bad? Ask yourself why and then find evidence otherwise. Look at creators like Marie Forleo or Stu McLaren donating millions into philanthropic causes that have made changes in people's lives. You think you're bad at handling money and therefore can't save more of it? Challenge yourself and get a friend to help you be accountable. Take one of those money challenges you see on Pinterest. The one where you save $1 for the first week, then $2 for the second, and then $3 for the third week, and so on until you reach $52 after a year. A friend of mine did this challenge with her colleague. But instead of starting at $1, they started at $52 and worked their way down because they thought it was way easier to work from the big amount first and then go smaller every week because they know that increasing the amount weekly is harder to keep them motivated. At the end of the challenge, they both had extra spending money on their holiday. I know you're going to say things like, "Oh, these millionaires are only giving money for tax purposes." I tell you, don't let your beliefs, your bias, narrow your views. Don't ignore the evidence and facts in front of you and start looking for evidence to support your belief. The next thing you need to do is to start creating a new set of money beliefs. Turn those money blocks into money positivity and turn that into daily affirmations you tell yourself every single morning. It takes time to truly change your beliefs. It's not going to change overnight. It took me and my husband years to work through our issues on money and to get on the same page. Affirmations have power to transform your thoughts. You start seeing yourself take actions that reflect the affirmations you practice on a daily basis. You start taking actions that you need to do in order to move forward with plans and to get closer to achieving your goals. You know, one of the things that helped me turn my views and beliefs came from someone I truly admire, Stu McLaren. He's the creator of the Tribe Experience. He said, "It's not about the money. It's about what money makes possible." One of the biggest money blocks for me happened when I had Alphonse. When I had him, my scrapbook design business essentially came to a standstill. I wasn't able to create anything, blog, or manage my business. My son needed all my attention. We had to go back to a solo income, relying on my husband's sole income to support our family. It was a stressful period for the entire family because we're faced with my son's medical expenses too. At the time, to me, time equals money. The more time I spent working, the more money I was able to make. And I didn't have time to make more designs because my son needed me. That was my money block. But let me tell you something that I believed in and still do to this day. I believe in investing in myself. I believe that I deserve to spend money to learn new skills and knowledge so I can improve my business. Now, when I launched my course, Mastering Hand Lettering, I got emails from a lot of people telling me that they wish they could take the course but can't afford it. Or maybe it's not my course, but another person's program. And you tell yourself the same thing. I cannot afford it. My question is, can you really not afford it? Think of the time you badly wanted to go on a trip with friends out of town. You can't afford it, but you really want to go. Or maybe you want to get the latest iPad or iPhone that's just about to drop, and you know you don't have the money for it. What did you do? If you truly wanted to go on that trip or get that new phone, you'd start figuring out ways to help save up for that trip. You start giving up your daily double shot lattes at Starbucks. You start taking on side jobs, cancel your Netflix subscription, sell your old clothes online, and stop eating out and start cooking more at home. You start finding ways to make that trip happen. And you start finding ways to make sure you have money to buy that new device. So ask yourself next time you see a course online or a workshop you really want to take, but you're telling yourself no. What's really stopping you? I believe in investing in myself. Education has been something I valued highly from a young age, to the point where I found a way to stay in school despite my parents telling me they couldn't afford to send me to school anymore. Yes, with the help of my guidance counselor, we searched for scholarships I can avail at the time. And my first ever online investment was a course called Make Art That Sells, which is such a wonderful program. The problem was, I couldn't afford the hefty fees. Do you want to know what I did? I closed my personal scrapbook shop and put all my products on sale. I know many of you are thinking, why would you do that, Mai? Isn't that how you were making money? Yes, it was, but I knew that I needed that course to help me figure out how I can increase my income further. Selling my scrapbook designs directly to customers was great, but it requires a lot of effort on my end. I knew I needed to sell my designs to licensing companies so I can make more passive income, but I didn't know how to go about doing that, and so I needed to find out how. And with the money I made from my final sale, I registered for the program. I was a nightmare student. I didn't hand in any assignments. I didn't have enough skills to create illustrations at the caliber of my fellow classmates. And the only thing that I discovered about myself at the time was that I love lettering, and I incorporate letters in every work I do. I may not have been good at illustration, but I know I can create stunning letters. So I used that skill to cope with my situation and later on got me my first paid lettering project. When I got that first project, my money block popped up again. I told myself, do I have enough time to do this? I don't know if I can commit to it. But at the back of my mind, I knew I needed this project. I needed this work for my family. So I was frank with Karina Gardner, the owner of Mini Lou Kids, that I only have that few hours a day to work on the illustrations. Thank goodness Karina was super understanding and we worked around my schedule to complete the project. She gave me 4 months to do it. That was when I realized that I don't need a lot of time to make money. Proving my long-held belief that more time equals more money is not true at all. That made me value my time even more, and that led me to make decisions in my lettering business. Decisions like not taking any lowball offers. I need to make sure I only take projects that will be worth my time, and no longer believe that more time equals more money, and thus hitting that money belief right out of the ballpark. And with that, my friends, we come to the end of another episode of the Confident Creator Show and the end of the Tackling the Most Common Roadblocks for Creatives and Business Owners series. I truly hope that this series has helped you become more self-aware of yourself, discover the mindset that you have and need to work through in order to tackle your roadblocks. Whether it's thoughts and beliefs that are stopping you from growing personally or from taking the actions that you need to start or grow your business. Now, I want to hear from you. Did you find this series useful? And which of these 3 roadblocks are you going to handle first? Join us inside the Confident Creators Facebook group and let's talk about it. And of course, this series will not be complete without you taking action, and you need to do it now. So head over to maidaleon.com/money to find the show notes and to download the Tackling Your Roadblocks worksheets. It's going to help you start acknowledging your money issues and how you can overcome them. Finally, I'd love it if you could subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any of the juicy episodes every week. Until next time, this is Mai.